Hello, this is Mr. Hornsby 83 with the Mr. Hornsby 83 review of Wrestlemania 32. I was going to do it last night, but this Wrestlemania sucked. One of the worst ever. I mean, all the matches didn't mean nothing pretty much. But we're going to start with the pre-show match, which ended up being Ryback. Well, actually, there were a few pre-show matches. Ryback versus Kalisto for U.S. title. I did not see this match, so I didn't know until I watched the pay-per-view that Ryback lost to Kalisto. Next up was I think it was Team Total Divas against Bad and Blonde, and who cared? Match, blah. That's what I felt about it. I think Total Divas won. They got the celebration. Nikki Bella made her return. Well, that wasn't the only return that happened tonight, last night. So after that, we got one more match. Advertised as a tables match. Didn't happen. The Usos versus the Dudleys. The Usos won. They ended up putting the Dudleys through a table anyway. So, God, that match is just ridiculous. Then we get to the main show, and we had the ladder match for the Intercontinental title. This one was pretty entertaining. I mean, it wasn't as good as last year's, but the outcome was just kind of slowed it down. Zack Ryder won the Intercontinental title. Well, they fixed that tonight on Raw. If anybody who watched Raw, anybody cared, I wasn't going to watch it until I seen how things were going. But so Zack Ryder won, and that was it. Next up, what's the next match? I think it was the New Day versus the League of Nations. New Day came out dressed up like Saiyans, which was pretty awesome. I'm a big DBZ fan, so of course I like that. They should have used their Super Saiyan powers to beat the freaking League of Nations, but League of Nations won this match, and as I predicted, probably the only match I got right on the card. Oh no, there was one other, a couple other ones, but League of Nations wins. This might go on to another match for the tag titles this time. I don't know who. And from what I heard on Raw, apparently they kicked out Barrett, so there's that. And it was Barrett that helped them win last night, but okay. I know why they probably did it, because of the news Barrett's leaving after his contract's up, so. Alright, next up, I believe, was the WWE Divas title match. By the way, a lot of people were reporting that there's a possibility that there will be no longer a Divas title. Hallelujah. But, and we seen on the pre-show, Lita announced the new WWE Women's title. It's basically the network logo title, except for it's got Women's Champion in it. And it's white, and it's got like a reddish pink background on it. And to be honest, this was one of the best matches on the card. Was the women's title match between Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. I was hoping Sasha Banks would win, but Charlotte pulled out the victory with help from Flair. I figured Snoop Dogg would, kind of stay out there to keep Flair from costing Sasha Banks the title, but that's not what happened. Charlotte's still women's champion, and hallelujah, the Divas title. Thank the wrestling gods. It's gone. And the match was, like I said, one of the best matches on the pay-per-view. Until Flair got involved. Next up, I believe, was the Hell in the Cell match between Shane and Undertaker. This match was pretty good, too. I mean, although the pay-per-view sucked, they had some pretty good matches on here. But, Shane and Undertaker, this match was like a very good match. In the end, Shane went to elbow Undertaker from the top of the cell through a table. Undertaker moves. Shane's laid out, you know, and then, you know, Undertaker putting him back in the ring, and then he's sitting there doing this and all that, and then boom, tombstone, it was over. Shane lost. No interference by the Wyatt family. Had, like, you know, there was reports, people were speculating, thinking, you know, the Wyatts were going to be in there somehow inserting themselves into this match, or there was going to be a bunch of interference, but there really wasn't that much interference. So next up, I believe we got... It's hard to remember all the matches. That's how crappy this thing was. But, let's see. I said the New Day, the Women's Title, the Ladder, the Hell in a Cell. I believe the Battle Royal was next. Between... Oh no, yeah, the AJ Styles Chris Jericho match, which I completely forgot about in my prediction. But AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. This match I did not like the way it ended, with Jericho winning. But I think they made up for it tonight on Raw with what happened just like moments ago. But then I can see why AJ Styles got the last victory at I think it was Fastlane. And it's good to see they're not booking AJ Styles like crap like they've done some other guys they've taken from places like Ring of Honor or TNA. But I think the fans wouldn't allow them to do AJ Styles that way anyway. But it was a pretty good match. There was a lot of botches between Jericho and AJ, and it's odd because this is like the 4th or 5th time they wrestled each other, so they should be crisp in the ring together. But AJ Styles loses, Jericho walks out victor, and AJ Styles, which I'll talk about in a minute. Alright, now next up was the Battle Royal, even though I think I got the Hell in a Cell and the AJ Styles Jericho match mixed up. But actually I think that was even before the women's title match, but oh well. It's on the review, so good match. Not great, but it was pretty good. Next up was the Battle Royal, and I guess last night was the debut of Baron Corbin on the main roster, because he's been on NXT for like a while. I know WWE wants to make him possibly their next Diesel, their next big gigantic guy. They can make him, I don't know who they want to make him as, but they're wanting to push him. He won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Let's see where he goes from there, and then tonight you had him beat Dolph Ziggler, so WWE's probably going to push him. I don't know where they're going to push him to, probably the title, somewhere down the line. Alright, now we get to the main events of the evening. Well, actually, we got a little segment with the Hall of Famers, and they showed flashbacks from the Hall of Fame, like they do at every WrestleMania. Last night, they talked about, you know, when Sting announced he was retiring, which I thought he already retired, but I guess he was waiting until the Hall of Fame to retire, so Sting now officially retired. He's one of the greats of all time, one of the big icons in the industry. I mean, what else can you say? It's Sting. I did like how he mentioned the Ultimate Warrior. Well, used his real name, Jim Hellwig, talking about how they started out as a team, and, you know, going forward, Boss Man's family was the one that inducted him, which was good. So, now let's get to the main event, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, which they used to promote this match was Hail to the King by Five Finger Death Punch, which, oh god, why did they use that song? But oh well. Because, you know, that song's a good song, and it got wasted on a WWE crappy pay-per-view. But, so, Triple H comes out first, gets his big old entrance he gets every year, the entrance he got last year when he buried Sting. Then he comes out, you have Stephanie, who actually for the first time in her life, cut a good promo. It's a miracle. So, then we get Triple H coming out with some freaking Slender Man looking guys or whatnot carrying the title, and I'm like, what the heck? I figured one of the Slenderman guys would probably help, Triple H win the match, but that didn't happen. So after Triple H came out, Roman Reigns came out. He was booed out of the building like everybody predicted. Then, the match was better than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to... Triple H, he can go in there, he can work well with people. It just depends on how the person works with him. Triple H and Roman had a pretty decent match. In the end, it ended with Roman hitting the spear, winning the title, and like I've said before about Roman, I want to like the guy, but he's just something about him that nobody wants to like about him. And you need to repackage him, change him as a heel, but then again, something they said during the match last night that he said tonight about, well, I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy. So I don't know, maybe they're starting his heel turn now. And especially with the fact that AJ Styles did win tonight, maybe his heel turn happens at the next pay-per-view, because I know they're not going to let, hopefully somewhere down the line they let AJ Styles win the WWE Championship. But I know they're not going to let him win it this soon. But, so, yes, I'm a big AJ Styles fan, and I know they're not going to let him win the belt this soon, especially after they just had Roman get his crowning moment at Wrestlemania. Yeah, Roman, yeah. Oh, yeah, Roman. But, overall, I'm going to give this freaking pay-per-view, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. It sucked. There was some good things about it, which I would give it a 3, but the way things the Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar, Dean Ambrose match. I knew there was another match. Let's talk about that real fast. Brock Lesnar, Dean Ambrose. You think Dean Ambrose is going to win this match? Nope. Brock Lesnar won, although Ambrose took it to him. So he didn't bury Ambrose. He didn't get suplexed 5,000 times. And he did get suplexed a lot in the match. But it wasn't a 5,000 times thing, and then he gets one F5 and then he's done. He really took the fight to Brock, which is kind of what they did with CM Punk in the SummerSlam match. Which, by the way, this match was also a pretty good match, too, although didn't like the outcome. Brock Lesnar wins. I'm getting tired of these freaking, part-timers coming in. They had their time back when they were the big-time star. Brock had his time in the early 2000s. Brock had his time. Oh, yeah, I gotta get to that too. Fudge. I guess I forgot this stuff because I didn't care about it, but mainly because of the outcome. I did care about the Ambrose Lesnar match. I'm like, oh, Ambrose, yes, let's have Ambrose win and push him to the moon, but nope. So, okay, afterwards we got, before the main event, which I already talked about, but before the main event we got The Rock coming out, talking, set The Rock on fire, I don't know. I was making jokes like maybe he's just, going to start calling himself Dwayne Johnson, like, hey, I'm Dwayne Johnson now, I'm no longer The Rock, forget you people. And all The Rock, it seemed like all they were making Rock come out there do was, well, we set an attendance record, because of all the millions and millions of them. Yeah, well, he's probably one of the main reasons why he came to it, but, yeah, then we get the Wyatt family coming out. Bray wants to attack him. Rock's like, you know what? How about we have a match? We're not having a fight, we're having a match. Rock rips off the freaking thing. Takes off his shirt, has his trunks underneath, his boots underneath. Then he gets elbow pads from somebody. The ref gets in. And one good thing, though, it wasn't Bray Wyatt that got buried. It ended up being Eric Rowan. But then the whole Wyatt family got buried anyway because they were about to attack The Rock after the 6-second match. And then here's the music. Nobody cared. And Cena came out, helped The Rock. I thought maybe Cena would attack Rock and go heel, but that's not going to happen. Hopefully, I don't know if he was on Raw tonight. I don't think he was. Hopefully we just see Cena in a capacity where he's just making appearances. He's up there in age and he passed his time. But who knows? It's John Cena. Who knows? He's not fully healed yet, I'm guessing, but he was there. Helped The Rock. He inducted Snoop Dogg the night before in the Hall of Fame, so... God. So we got Nikki Bella return. We got John Cena return. None of the matches went the way I hoped. I was hoping either Kevin Owens retained the title and Sami Zayn somehow or another challenged Owens at the next pay-per-view. That's not what happened. Zack Ryder, and it looks like they're going to play Zack Ryder versus The Miz. Brilliant idea. Who cares? That's what I feel. They also set up, they did set up some stuff with Owens and Zayn, but it's not for the IC belt, which I think it should be. AJ Styles gets a chance at the title. Thank God. Jericho wins. I don't know why. What was the point? Jericho's supposed to be the one that likes to put people over, but yet he couldn't put AJ Styles over at WrestleMania, his first WrestleMania, when Jericho's had plenty of WrestleMania moments. Undertaker, I said after Survivor Series, Undertaker needs to retire. Just go away, Undertaker, God. You've been wrestling since I was like freaking about 9 years old, I believe. Well, you were wrestling before that, but you came to WWE when I was about 9 years old. So, but he didn't get nowhere with Mean Mark McGrath. It was just a lackluster. This WrestleMania, I'm sure a lot of people had high expectations, and I have not watched anybody else's review. This is my opinion. Other people might feel differently from what I feel, but I felt like this was one of the worst WrestleManias in a long time. And I missed the season finale of Shameless for this. When, Shameless was far more entertaining. The good thing I had DVR and I recorded it. And Shameless was far more entertaining than this garbage was. Felt like a glorified Raw, pretty much. 2 out of 5. I did not care for some of the outcomes. WrestleMania is supposed to be where a lot of big stars get their big moment, but then it's just whatevs, and it seems like whatever they're going to do with Roman, that's the most intriguing thing. That's all I was going to do was watch Raw to see Roman to see if he turns heel or not. He did get booed, but we got a Fatal 4-Way match, which led to AJ Styles winning, which is great because I have been a big AJ Styles fan since I watched him in TNA. Or as WWE refers to it, in Florida. Yeah, Florida. Hopefully next year's WrestleMania is better. Hopefully SummerSlam's better. They won't have a depleted roster. We've seen Cesaro return tonight as well. Also, a lot of debuts tonight on Raw. We've seen Kaz and Enzo Amore, or Kaz and Enzo, starting a feud with the Dudleys. We've seen Apollo Crews. Who else? And Shane McMahon, for some reason, for no reason whatsoever, Vince said, okay, you can run Raw. I didn't get to watch all the opening segment of Raw because I really wasn't caring. All I wanted to see what Roman was going to do. But because he needs to turn heel, he's not making it as a face. A good way to become a heel is a good way to become a good face if you're a great heel. Look at guys like Stone Cold. Look at The Rock. Look at Mick Foley. Look at Ric Flair. Look at all the greats in history. They all even John Cena started out as a heel, went face, hasn't went back to heel since then. Even the great Hulk Hogan, when he first started, he was a heel. Then he went face because he's the revolutionary force of the 80s. Bret Hart, him and Jim the Anvil, when they were wrestling back in the day as tag team partners, they were both heels. Then Bret became a face. Anvil became secondary player to the other Hart family members like Owen, Bulldog, and all that. But yeah, 2 out of 5. Tomorrow night, gonna get that round table TNA discussion going. I will do that tomorrow. I've held off on it for like 2-3 weeks now. I'm gonna talk about the effects of Bobby Roode leaving, what the effects of Eric Young are. I don't know if there is any effects of Eric Young leaving. Who cares? But also tonight we've seen that the Wyatts attacked the League of Nations, so who knows what's going to happen there. But please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more, follow me on my Facebook fan page, Mr. Hornsby83 Topics, follow me on Twitter at Mr. Hornsby83. Until the round table tomorrow night. I also will do a toy talk this week. Peace out.